A couple of magical weekends over in Deauville for Frankie Dettori with the man himself who joins us live in self-isolation. Frankie, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. You put me to shame. Look at that. I've got a T-shirt and you shirt and tie. And what are you doing? Royal Ascot today or something?
Well, you are in the gym, I suppose, so at least you might look a bit out of place dressed in a suit in the gym.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is my isolation unit. I've got everything here that I need. So, yeah, not long to go. It's Friday. I had my first test, obviously was negative, and if everything goes well, Monday, if I'm negative, then I'm able to leave the house.
And you're into day 5 now. Into day 5, how many of those bottles of wine, bits of cheese and baguettes have you got left?
I think my kids had the baguette straight away. I think plenty of cheese is left. I'm doing a good job on the wine anyway. At the moment.
Well, Frankie, just reflecting on that couple of weeks you had there in Deauville, a brilliant time for you. It couldn't have worked out any better.
Look, it was, I mean, when the government decided to give the quarantine with France, everything really happened really quickly. And I sat down with John and we went through it. And obviously, with Ebor not running in the Yorkshire Oaks and Stradivarius not running at York, I was only left with Lord North, what it looked a very tough race. And, I mean, John was very good. And he kind of left it up to me if I wanted to go to France. And I had to really react quickly because, obviously, transport planes so I decided to take my car. And I jumped on the ferry and I went to Deauville. And I said to myself, well, they're two good horses to have. I thought if one wins, he was going to pay off, and then when they both won, then it was amazing. And you know, they were the two very good horses, and they really delivered.
And Deauville itself, Frankie, is a great place to be. What was the feel of the town like, given the current situation?
Well, usually that weekend is the sales weekend, but the town was very busy. All the Parisian people goes to Deauville for August. I did a little bit of sightseeing. I went to Mont Saint-Michel. You know, my good friend Marchalis Andrea is. I spent some time with him, and I went racing. And I mean, it went really quick, I'll be honest with you. And then I was lucky because obviously being an elite sportsman, then the quarantine was cut from 14 to 7 days with testing. And so I was able to stay an extra weekend and ride Campanelle. That was always the target of Wesley. And it gives me enough time to come back and ride in Ebor next weekend.
It's worked out perfectly. Presumably the oyster bar at the track was still in good order, was it?
Yeah, I gave that a good dent, actually.
I bet you did.
I think I had my own seat by the end of it.
Well, let's just focus in on the first weekend, Frankie and Mishrif. A shame for David Egan that he's not been able to ride this horse in both of its 2 starts over in France, but he was really impressive.
It was. I actually was I rode him before I left, because the last time I rode him was as a 3-year-old, and he's very strong individual. He loves the soft ground, and you know, he confirmed the Jockey Club form again. You know, it probably improved a little bit because he beat the Summit a little bit further.
He did, yes, about a length or so in the Jockey Club and 4 and a bit lengths on that occasion. You touched on when you rode him at Newbury last year. Did you ever expect he'd go on to the sort of things he has done? Did he give you a really good feel at that stage?
When I rode, listen, it wasn't my best rides when I rode him. I found every trouble in running about 3 or 4 times. I almost finished on the bridle, and he you know, it's unbelievable because he went to Saudi Arabia. He ran great on the dirt. And, you know, he's very consistent and honest, you know. I think he opened everyone's eyes when he won so well at Newmarket in the spring. And, yes, he's done really well.
He looks a very straightforward individual, Frankie.
It is. He's a very kind horse, strong. At the moment, a man a quarter is tailor-made for him. He's a sort of horse that I would say it'd be a a very top-class 4-year-old if he stays in training, and he's got everything in the right place.
He stays a mile and a quarter, well, as you say at the moment. What about a mile and a half? Would he get another couple of furlongs?
Well, listen, that's a big question mark. At the moment he's a mile and a quarter is ideal, and we'll see. With time as he strengthens, possibility he'll get a mile and a half.
And as regards targets coming up in the next few weeks, have you had a chance to talk to John? Maybe Arc, or would it be a Champion Stakes? What would be your preference?
At the moment, I would say Champion Stakes would be ideal. In the past few years, we get South Grande Ascot. It's tailor-made for him, and at least you go into a race that that's your right distance at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but then obviously the Arc's been mentioned, and but it needs to be supplemented. I leave that to John and the owners. So, but at the moment, the horse done nothing wrong.
And how impressed were you with Palace Pier, who just seems to have been the find of the season, starting off with the handicap at Newcastle, and he's just kept on progressing?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We always thought it was going to be perhaps our Guinea's horse, but he's so laid back in the morning, and we just we couldn't get him to really pick the bridle up in the spring. But John was an amazing way of getting him started. He ran him in a handicap at Newcastle, and the penny dropped, and then he hasn't looked back since. We went into the St James's Palace taking on Pinatubo, and he really showed to the world that he was a top miler, and then he confirmed it again. On the Sunday. I love the horse. He's very cold. Nothing phases him. You can do anything with him, and he's proved it twice, and he's a top class miler.
Is it fair to say, Frankie, just watching the Marrow back and thinking back to the St James's Palace, that last furlong or so is probably the strongest part of the race for him?
Yeah, look, the filly in second, I won the Coronation. She's very good. Obviously, you got Circus Maximus, so there's a good yardstick. He always runs a good race. Roman Eyes and Persian King. I mean, they are the best milers around, and he won decisively. And I got to say that he's one of the best milers that I've rode. And hopefully more to come.
Do you think he's still improving?
I think he is. He's only run 5 times. Low mileage. And I hope that he'll stay in training, and because I think he's awesome on the upgrade.
Frankie, he's the son of Kingman, and he's very much like Kingman in terms of his mechanics and his dynamics. Has he got a real turn of foot, this horse, or is he more that he stays a mile so well? He has.
He's got a turn of foot. He's kind of laid back. So when you think then is beat at the free, and when you turn the switch on and say, come on, let's go, and he puts it on, and he's amazing. Because I had a little bit of the panic at the 2.5. I thought, well, I better close the gap a little bit, and from being 3 lengths behind, I was 2 lengths in front within the space of a furlong. So it just shows you what a good turn of foot he's got.
And what about back-end targets, Frankie? Are you thinking QE2 or Breeders' Cups?
Well, talking to John, I'm very keen for him to run the QE2. He might not be seasoned enough or experienced enough to take on a Breeders' Cup this year. 2 turns, mile, very fast. He's only run 5 times. He's still a little bit of a baby in that department. So I would say QE2 would be the obvious target. And if we're going to have a crack at it, maybe it's next year. But everything is in the mix.
Could be a good day for your champion today. I suppose David will be back with Mishra, wouldn't he? But Palace Pier maybe for the QE2. And Campanelle, just tell us about her, Frankie, continuing that wonderful association you've got with Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed when she won at Queen Mary. And Wesley was always keen to run her in the morning. And I was there all week, and I was in the stables every day watching her. She was very laid back in the stable, and I was impressed by how much she's grown. She's probably grown a good 5 inches since Royal Ascot. She's completely different to Lady Aurelia. She's taller, she's got a longer stride, and she's not as fast as Lady Aurelia. We know that for a fact. But this filly's got more scope, and you can see in these images what a beautiful filly she is. And talking to Wesley, is very keen to run her in the Breeders' Cup, and he's asked me, should we go 5.5 or a mile? And I think 2-turn miles on fast ground in America will definitely suit her.
And it's a very positive ride you gave her, stepping up to 6 furlongs. You must have been quite confident she was going to stay, Frankie.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I think she did. In the Queen Mary, she did her best work at the end, and a big long stride. And I know she'll get to the end. And if she gets 6 furlong on heavy ground, on a stiff track like Deauville, I'm sure 1 mile Keeneland, it won't be out of reach.
And she's had blinkers on the first couple of times. No blinkers at the weekend. Was that a deliberate strategy? Or was it assistant trainer error?
I thought Wesley forgot to declare it, but talking to him, it was part of the plan. And yeah, I mean, it's Wesley's 2 year-olds, they always run with blinkers, but I was surprised he didn't have him on, but it makes no difference.
And you and him seem to have a great relationship, Frankie, looking back at the success you've had.
Yes, of course. Listen, I started off with undrafted in the July Cup years back. And then I won a Royal Ascot. Then obviously Lady Aurelia came along. So I won the British Cup on Utanani. So we've had some great success together. When I go to Florida, sometimes in January, I stay with him. He's a good laugh. He likes me, and we get on well. And we've been very lucky together. So may long continue.
And looking back to Deauville, Frankie, how much did you enjoy having the crowds there and actually seeing a race course looking a little bit busier again? Yeah,
it was good. It was good. You know, I mean, we starved of a crowd in England, so it was good. It was nice for us to race with a crowd, and hopefully in the near future at Doncaster we'll start ourselves. You know, it's about time, I think.
And the Ledger meeting, a meeting you've always enjoyed and had great success. That's 6 wins in the Ledger. You'd be looking forward to that race. Any idea of a possible ride in that at the moment?
Well, obviously English King is still in there, but the Grand Prix de Paris is mentioned as well the next day. And then, well, if he doesn't turn up, then obviously I'll be on the phone to Aidan O'Brien, see if he gives me one of his 42 entries that he's got.
He might find something for you. But a race you've enjoyed, say 6 times you've won the Ledger, Frankie. Logician last year, he was a brilliant winner. How's he getting on?
Yeah, I think I've seen him galloping in the stables lately, so he's due to make a comeback. He had a few hiccups on the way, but we know he's a good horse, and you know, I can't wait to ride him again.
Yeah, it's a real shame that we've not seen him since that Ledger. When just watching it back, I mean, he went through this race with great ease.
Yes, beautiful, powerful, long-striding horse. Again, he's got very little miles, so you expect him to improve. And you know, he's missed most of the season, but you know, hopefully he'll make amends, and perhaps we might see him again next year.
Frankie, he reminded me of Conduit that day because of the way that he won, and remembering what Conduit did afterwards, namely winning Group 1s over 12 furlongs. Is it that sort of feel that he's just a high-class middle-distance horse rather than a high-class stayer?
Correct. He's much stronger than Conduit. I mean, he's a big unit of a horse, very powerful. And if he stays in training, I would say it'd be you know, one of those middle distance King George kind of type of a horse. You know, he's a progressive, like you've seen what he done in this race last year, and you know, we have high hopes for him.
And given the size of him, Frankie, as a 3-year-old, he was big, but the chance to develop into that frame, we could be looking at an even better horse as a 4- and 5-year-old, could we?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very strong horse, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back on the track.
And of course, we've got to touch on her, the star mare Enable. Have you seen her recently?
Well, there's one thing that this lockdown has done to me. It's got me frustrated because I miss going to the yard and seeing her. I miss riding her. I'm calling everyone in the stables to see how she is. And yeah, week Saturday is the prep race for the Arc. You know, she's amazing, and what can you say about her? She's a dream to be around.
Just looking back at the King George again, I think we're all expecting a good run that day, but the ease with which she moved into contention, Frankie, the fact you were able to have a look around and just see where Japan was, it was a joy to watch.
You know, correct. You know, of course, it was everybody knew we went to the Eclipse, being 85%, but then to watching the King George, you know, it was very obvious to see by everyone the zest that she had, like the good old Enable that we know. You know, she went through the gears, and you know, she looked powerful, and you know, record-breaking freaking Georges, and you know, we on our way for have another crack at the Arc.
And would you have developed a bond with her unlike any you've had with any of your other good horses before?
Of course, yes. You know, she's took me to emotionally to places no other horses have. She's been ultra consistent. She's loved by not just me, but most of the racing people. She keeps on producing amazing efforts, and the dreams is still alive. You know, we kept her in training. No, I mean, Drummond, Prince Khalid, to have a third go at the Arc. And what we've seen at the moment, all the signs are good. Competition is very strong, but, you know, you're not going to have a walkover in the Arc. And it's going to be tough, but John, I'm sure he's going to get her to Longchamp as the best condition and as he can.
And just looking at one of your blogs this week, you were saying that you think Love deserves to be favourite for the Arc. Of course, you missed a potential date with her in the Yorkshire Oaks, but you must have been quite taken with what you've seen of her.
Absolutely. Look, you're giving £7 to a dual classic winner, and not just a classic winner. She won the Oaks by 9 lengths. Of course, you have got to take notice. She's very, very good, and she'd be hard not to crack. That goes without saying. And you know, she deserves to be favourite. She's in the same position that Enable was when she was a 3-year-old. And you know, if I said that I'm not scared of her, I'd be lying. Of course, she'd be my number one challenger, I would say.
And given what she did at York, and given the timings and everything, I think that the Kempton race does work as a much more suitable warm-up for a race like the Arc.
But the Arc was always the target. If we're gonna meet, let's meet in Paris. You know, I know that people are a bit upset because we didn't go to York, but you know, the target is Longchamp, and we want to get her there and as best as we can. And the race at Kempton on timing seems the best option.
And Stradivarius, Frankie, as far as you know, he's heading for the Arc as well, is he?
Yeah. Bjorn Nielsen, the owner, was always toying with the idea. He almost did it last year, and you know, he's 6 now, so if he's not going to try this year, as a 7-year-old, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So he's going to run, I guess, in the Prix the 13th. I'm going to go over and perhaps getting it ready for my good Italian friend Andrea Zeni, what has rode him in the past. I guess he'd be number 1 candidate to ride a horse in the Arc.
So your plan is to go back for the Arc Trials there, is it?
Yeah, and then do the same thing, isolate 1 week again, and then do it again after the Arc. So I'll be in a professional isolation by the time I finish this year.
A professional isolator. Yeah.
I'll be running out of wine by that.
His Gold Cup win this year, Frankie, was just astonishing. The distance he put between himself and the field was amazing. Yeah,
amazing. I traveled through the race, and I mean, for a horse whenever it wins by far, I couldn't believe it, because that's why I was waiting as much as I could. But I didn't expect him to do that. He just took off. He's an amazing little horse. I love him. He's great.
Ironically, Frankie, do you think that last year's Arc de Triomphe would have suited him really well with the ground and how the race went?
Probably yes. But who's to know? Perhaps to get the same condition this year. I mean, obviously, if now that we know he doesn't mind soft ground, if the ground becomes really bad, it puts him in the equation, because we know he stays really well.
And Frankie, just looking back over your career back to the mid-80s, you've enjoyed all sorts of success all around the world, but do you feel you're really at the sort of the peak of your career at the moment, with the way the last couple of years have panned out, your association with John and all the horses that have been around, the sort of Cracksmans and the Nables and the likes?
Well, look, you just mentioned it. I got to say thanks to John that he asked me to go back to work for him, and it's amazing. We have amazing line of owner breeders, and John keeps on cheering champions after champion, and I've been obviously I thought Golden Dawn was a one-off, but then since he left, wow, Ebor, Cracksman, I mean, the two damn hot Stradivarius. There's a conveyor belt of good horses. I mean, ridiculous, really, what me and John have achieved this last 5 years. I mean, I have to pinch myself. Absolutely mind-boggling, really. The champions that we've been through. May long continue.
And I guess I was going to ask you if you've got sort of one ambition or one unfulfilled thing you'd like to achieve, but I'd imagine the Melbourne Cup's quite high on the list, is it?
Yeah, the Melbourne Cup is a shame that this year is highly unlikely we can go. I've had Lloyd Williams on the phone a few times. He's trying to make me win it, and I've been failing at the moment. And obviously, the one I like to win the July Cup. I was second again this year. Devastated about the horse that died, and obviously being a Newmarket boy means a lot to me. But we're going to keep on trying.
Good stuff, Frankie. Well, it's been great to catch up with you. Really fascinating. Some good racing still to come this year. We wish you all the best with that. And what is the rest of the day? What's the day hold for you in your isolation unit?
Well, at the moment, I woke up quite late this morning, so I'm planning to have a good go on the treadmill and just do my exercises. And then there's Newmarket racing on your channel.
Oh, no, don't mention where it is.
No.
There's Fonwell.
Yeah, Fonwell, yeah, perfect. I'll be watching that as well,
Frankie, look, enjoy the rest of the day. Good luck for the coming weeks, and many thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thank you, guys.